I grew up in Evanston many, many years ago, and I first got involved in the Y, I believe when I was in, must have been second or third grade. And I joined a Y club. We had a Y club. That was back when Y clubs were really big. And went to Camp Echo as a child, and I was in Y clubs all the way through high school, and then I was away in college, away in the Navy, came back, and was in graduate school at Northwestern, and I think I rejoined the Y just for the workout place to come and work out. Then I moved away, but we moved back here in the late 70s, and I really was not that involved until my kids really became involved, and that kind of reconnected me with the Y, and I ended up going through Indian Princesses, and of course I had been, as a high school student, I had been in Brilliantine, I'd been in the production, and so when we moved back here after a couple of years, one of our acquaintances who knew that I'd been in Brilliantine commandeered me and got me involved again, and I spent, I believe it was close to 19 years total involved in Brilliantine as both an assistant director and later as a producer for a number of years. And my kids all made me promise that I would do it until they got out of high school. And when I last graduated from high school, I spent 2 more years, and then I decided it was time to hang it up. But those were wonderful years. I really enjoyed that particular association, and also the Y Club Association. So the Y has really been a part of my life, both as a child and as an adult. Well, yes, the Y Club experience was a good one. That was a fun time. One of my fondest memories was, I think we might have been in maybe 4th or 5th grade, and the name of our Y Club was Hill Club because of Harlan Hill, who was a star receiver for the Chicago Bears back in the ancient days. And he actually, our counselor is a fellow named Bill Trammell, who is still, he's been active in the Y, and I've actually bumped into him recently. But he actually made arrangements to get Harlan Hill to come to our Y Club meeting. So we had a chance to, he talked to us, and we had a chance to get his autograph, and that was a lot of fun. And we had a lot of good times playing flag football and basketball and softball and all of that kind of stuff. And then as we kind of migrated into the high school years, the Y was a place to come on Friday night, and there was a place called the Plant Room, and it was where everybody came, even if you're going someplace else. Almost everybody would congregate there, and then you'd end up either staying or going someplace else. But it was a real locus of activity, and there were dances, and it was a very big part of the social scene. It's always been a haven where kids can come and use the athletic facilities and primarily, I think earlier on it was more of a social thing because of the Y clubs, and I think that Camp Echo is also a big draw because there are a lot of people that come that to make friends, and there are people actually from other suburbs that have become Y kids and actually have been in Camp Echo kids and have been in Brilliantine. We've had some New Trier kids and other kids that have been in Brilliantine because of their affinity to the Y, which was fostered by some of the activities. I can't go without mentioning Indian Guides and Indian Princesses, which is now Adventure Guides and Adventure Princesses. But that was some of my fondest memories were of those years because we have 3 children, and for I believe it was a total of 9 straight years, I was involved in either Indian Guides or Indian Princesses. I was the nation chief several times, and that was a wonderful program. And it's been reconstituted as Indian, I guess, Adventure Guides, and that was a very great bonding experience. Not only for fathers and sons and fathers and daughters, but for fathers and fathers. I mean, some of my best friends are people that I met. That I got to know and really I got to be good friends with through the Indian Guides and Indian Princesses program, which was supposed to be for bonding of fathers and sons and fathers and daughters. But we had a great time and really made some fabulous friendships. It was always fun, and I was always crippled for a couple of days. But sleeping on the ground I did it, and it seemed like several years in a row it rained. and my son or my daughter and I would be in a tent. We'd be huddled in a little two-person tent, trying to keep the leaks from coming in. We always ended up having a good time, and it was a lot of fun. And I'll never forget one year when the tribal chief we went out foraging for pizza. And actually, one of our this is funny. One of our members actually had a cell phone. This is back when cell phones were first getting really coming into vogue, and he actually called, and we had pizza delivered, which was others were camping out, but I think our grill had gotten wet, and so we couldn't grill, so we ordered pizza. But that was always a fun time. And also the retreats, the other campouts that we went to, which were we'd go around to various state parks, and we would always have a good program, and we would have very traditional learning about various Indian lore. But more than that, it was a fun. In the winter times we'd always go up to a place up in Lake Geneva, and the sledding was fabulous, and everybody always looked forward to that. So all of the outings were fun. The one at the lakefront was it was always fun, even when it rained. Well, Brilliantine has always had a very special place for me. I was as a senior in high school. I was in Brilliantine, and we built sets, and acted and sang in it. It was a great experience. And then when I came back, Brilliantine has persevered through the years, and when I came back, I got involved as a parent, but more as an assistant director, because I actually got involved before my kids were eligible to be in Brilliantine. And they always used to come, and I think they enjoyed it. And I think probably one of the most rewarding things for me about Brilliantine was the fact that there's no cuts, that everybody that really wants to be in the show can be in the show. And I think probably some of my most satisfying memories are of kids that would never ever be on stage again, but who took the coaching that we gave them, and they performed very well, and their self-confidence went up. And for me it was a very gratifying experience, not to work with a real talented kid, because they're going to do well anyway, but really to work hard and to see somebody that doesn't have the inherent talent, but who comes through and is so pleased and is really gains confidence from it. That I think for me was some of my most fond memories of Brilliantine. It's grown. Back when I was in it, it was not that. I mean, the numbers weren't that great, but over the years, it's become so popular that one of the most important things is for the director and the choreographer, who for Judy Kemp and Cindy Schoeneman, who have done this for a long time, but they make sure that every person in the cast has at least one or two times when they're going to be in the front row, when they're going to be seen. And believe me, it takes a lot of work on their part in order it's part of it's choreography and part of it is crowd control. But it's always fun, and the kids always come through, and that's fun. Oh, I remember one in particular. I believe it was I think the show was Pajama Game, or it was no. I don't remember what the show was, but there was one show where this one young man he'd been working very hard, and he couldn't get his lines right, and he had difficulty, and we worked together on the side, and there came a point in the show when somebody missed a cue, and there was something and it was chaos, and he took over the entire scene and he vamped for about 2 or 3 minutes and was very funny. He ad-libbed, and then they finally got the cast member who was supposed to be there back on the scene, and afterwards he came out and he was so proud of himself, and he was so pleased, and he actually came up and thanked me for all the work that I'd done, which was I was very moved by it. It was very nice. Our kids knew they were going to do it because they'd come to every show since they could probably remember, and they did it, and none of them were stars, and in fact I think our oldest she was in it one year, and then the next year she was on the board, She was on the show board, which are the people that manage the actual production of the show with adult guidance, but they're not on stage, and so we've had experience in our family of all our kids being on stage and also working on various committees and other aspects of the show. And of course, my wife got involved in it. She ran tickets for a long time, and so it really became a real family affair. One thing is that kids are. The kids that I've been associated with, and the kids that have been associated with the Y, are basically good kids. I mean, some are wilder than others, and some will make you angry. But they, by and large, they've always come through. They've always been good kids, and they've always they have. I've seen them grow in terms of understanding what their responsibilities are and taking charge. One of the nice things about Brilliantine is that the student board really runs the show. I mean, the adult advisors are there, and for the actual the dramatic and the singing and the dancing part of it, the adults are very much involved in that. But all of the business aspects, all of the props, and all of the backstage and behind the scenes functions are run by the kids with adults that are there to guide them and help them. And I think that program, among others, but that one in particular for me, gave me the chance to watch kids learn and really grow in terms of life skills as well as academics. I would say that the one thing that I really enjoyed was my affiliation with Brilliantine, because it has not only survived, but it has prospered, and it really is an Evanston community institution. And the kids that have gone through there have really, I found it very, very rewarding to be a part of that program. And also the other thing that I really enjoyed was the Indian Guides and Indian Princesses, because those were when the kids were really young, and we took it seriously. I mean, we had a great time, obviously, but we took it seriously, and our sons and daughters, I think that they reflect back on it probably more fondly even than when they were going there, because it was a lot of fun for them. So I think that I've really been inspired by the fact that the Y has continued to be a very strong force in the community. And I think that Evanston is a community that has natural diversity, and it has a lot of talented people and a lot of very dedicated people, and I think the Y has been able to tap into that in a very strong and very good way.